And notice I'm throwing my hands down, still keeping my spine nice and tall, nice and wide, abs still nice and engaged with this jump squat. What's going on, guys? Master Coach Aaron Guyette here, also the Education Director here with Living.Fit, and I'm here to talk about, hey, I want to burn fat, but I only have my body's weight. How in the heck am I doing this? You know, because I don't have a treadmill, or I can't go to the gym, or I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to spend a bunch of money on kettlebells and battle ropes and all that stuff. So I want to give you my top 5 exercises to help you burn fat. And so the way I'm going to break it down is I'm going to show you one of the exercises. We're going to talk about one of the exercises. I'm going to show it to you. And then I'm going to give you a sort of beginner version. Let's say you're just getting off the couch and you don't want to hurt yourself, but you still want to burn fat. So I'll give you sort of a beginner version, an intermediate version, and then an advanced version. So the very first exercise to burn more fat is going to be the squat jump. A very simple exercise, right? You're just coiling down into a basic squat. So think about this. What we don't want to do is round our back. We want to keep our back nice and tall, nice and strong vertical core. Think about if somebody was punching you in the gut and you had to solidify your abs here as we come down. And I'm bringing my hips, sort of the middle of my hips, down in between my feet. And so you're gonna go to where you feel some tension, you feel some flexion, and then you're gonna come all the way up. So the squat jump for the beginner, you're probably not gonna come off the ground. You're just gonna sort of raise up onto the tips of your toes. So one of my huge pet peeves is people actually throwing their hands down as they come up. But that's actually not how our body works to create momentum and jumping. So I want you to bring your hands down as you come down and then bring your hands up as you come up. So you can reach for the sky as you go up onto your toes. So again, that's for beginners. Now, obviously for the intermediate, you're going to want to lift off the ground. Now, the most important piece once you get off the ground is actually landing. It's not how high you can get, it's how well you can land. It's landing that creates any sort of injury. Usually it's not jumping out that's gonna tend to create the injury. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our hands up, and then as we come down, we're gonna throw our hands down and try to decelerate in the landing. That's also gonna set us up for the next squat jump. So we're coming off the ground, then back onto the ground. And notice I'm throwing my hands down, still keeping my spine nice and tall, nice and wide, abs still nice and engaged with this jump squat. And I'm starting to breathe with that movement. Now, for advanced, all you do, just more, right? So you're gonna go a little bit deeper and you're gonna try to jump a little bit higher, a little bit deeper, a little bit higher for that jump squat. So that would be the first exercise to help you burn more fat with just your body and the ground and gravity, right? The next one, we're gonna get into a lunge position. So the difference between a lunge and the squat, I'm bilateral, symmetrically loaded, so I don't have to balance as much left to right. So I don't have as much what we call frontal plane engagement. Here, there's a lot more or a lot less stability. So I've got to be really strong inside here, inside and outside of the thigh in order to hold myself from falling over. So that's going to create a little bit more engagement. It's also going to create more engagement for this forward quad as well as this forward glute. Most of my weight is going to be on this front foot, specifically and especially in this heel. And I'm going to come straight down and straight up, right? So for the beginner, we're just slightly coming down, feeling some engagement, and then coming up, down, up, and then I can switch, step back with the other. Now notice I'm trying to symmetrically load front to back. I'm not trying to overload the front or overload the back. That's what tends to happen. Again, most of my weight is going to be on this forward foot, but I'm still going straight down and straight up, not drifting forward and not drifting back as I come down. So straight down with my torso and straight up. So that would be beginner, right? I'm just slightly going down, slightly going up. Let's go intermediate. So I'm gonna actually alternate. I'm gonna do step backs, right? Or I could step forward. But notice I'm still going straight down. I'm not loading a bunch of weight on this forward toe, on this forward knee. I'm going straight down, loading most of my weight into this forward heel as I step. So you could either do a step back or a step forward with that lunge, and that would be your intermediate. Now you want to get fancy, want to get a little bit more advanced. I love the split squat or the lunge switch. So I'm lunging, hopping, and switching. Now that's going to incorporate a ton of power, a ton of force. Right, so that is the lunge, right, for body weight exercises to burn more fat. Second one, the third one is going to be the deck squat. So deck squat, I'm going to be on the ground and I'm going to do kind of a roll up, right? So I'm rolling back, rolling up to this squat-like position. And then from here, I'm going to be standing up nice and tall. Now, I just showed a very beginner version. So it's nice and slow. I'm just crunching. I can use momentum with my arms. I can use my hands to help push up into that squat position and stand up. Now notice, this is already kind of an advanced exercise, but notice what I'm trying to do when I get into that low squat position is I'm trying to engage my abs, stick my butt out, and bring my chest up nice and proud. And what that's doing is that's mitigating this rounding of the back. What we don't want to have is rounding in the back as I come down to roll. The rounding of the back is going to happen when I'm actually on the ground and I'm engaging my six pack, right? Rectus abdominis here. So the intermediate is not using the hands, right? Whoop. Now the advanced, I'm gonna be a little bit more explosive with it. I'm gonna come further back. Right, so again, you can assist for the beginner and then take away the assist for the intermediate and then get nice and explosive for that advanced. Okay, so that's the third exercise. The fourth exercise is just your basic mountain climber. So mountain climber, I'm gonna be in a plank position. So already in the plank position, I'm gonna be engaging my shoulders, engaging my chest, engaging my scapula, right? So all of these muscles, all these muscle groups here are engaging into that position to have a good, solid plank style position. Then of course, because gravity is going down this way, my abs have to engage to hold me stable in that plank style position. Then I'm gonna, on purpose, flex my glutes, flex my quads, and then we start to get dynamic as we step forward. So that's gonna engage my quad, my hip flexors, and my abs as I bring my foot up. Step back, bring my other foot up, right? So this is mountain climber and the beginner version of mountain climber. So nice and easy, nice and controlled. Stepping forward, stepping back, right? Then we go to an intermediate. We're gonna actually switch them at the same time, right? Forward and back. Now notice the whole time, shoulders down and back. I'm staying nice and engaged in my scapula. My chest is nice and engaged, right? My hands are nice and stable here as I jump forward and back into this mountain climber position. Now with the advanced, the only thing that we're gonna do is we're just gonna add speed. Right? Trying to go as fast as you can when you're doing that mountain climber position or that mountain climber switch. Now, we're gonna level this up a little bit more for the abdominals. So this is gonna be rectus abdominis, transverse abdominis, internal, external obliques, internal and external obliques on the other side by doing what we call a kick sit. So it's basically doing exactly what I said. So I'm gonna do the beginner version first, which is nice and slow, nice and controlled, really walking out exactly how to break down this movement step by step. So first, my knees and my elbows are gonna be almost kissing, right? So in this sort of loaded plank position or loaded crawl position here. And then I'm gonna turn my hips while keeping both hands. Pretend I have a nail gun, boom. And a nail gun, boom. My hands stay on the ground. They do not move. This is really important so that we are engaging all of our abdominals, right? So from here, I'm turning my hips. Now notice when I turn my hips, this back knee points up to the sky. I drop down in this back heel. So back knee to the sky, back heel down into the ground. From there, I kick, boom, kick or kick, point the toe, point the heel, whatever you want to do, and then I can sit, right? Now notice this shoulder can really get jutted up into the face. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to bring that scapula in, retract that scapula, depress the scapula, so then my butt's just barely off the ground, right? So now I'm controlled in my upper body. I'm wringing out my diaphragm, so it's gonna try to take my breath away. And then I'm gonna engage my diaphragm, engage my obliques, engage my transverse abdominis, my rectus abdominis, and I'm gonna bring it back to that starting position. And then turn, that knee goes up, that heel drops down, kick, and sit. Now notice, this time I'm not sitting all the way down because I don't wanna shrug this shoulder up. I'm staying nice and proud through my chest. It's wringing out my diaphragm. Very hard to hold that position, talk, move in that position, and actually have that wring out your diaphragm. And then from here, I'm gonna rotate right back up to that kick, sit, start position. So here in the kick, sit position, nice and slow for the beginner. Again, turning out, knee up, heel down, kick, sit, turn out, knee up, heel down, kick, sit. Right, so that's the beginner. And then intermediate, we're gonna go just a little bit smoother and a little bit faster. And then advanced. Notice if I stop, that heel is gonna be down and that knee is gonna be up. And so as you speed up, you're gonna feel all of your abdominal muscles, right? Transverse abdominis, internal, external obliques on both sides, and the rectus abdominis, all engaging, and as well as your diaphragm getting wrung out to make that movement happen. So if you want more exercises like this, more workouts like this, full program like this, check out my Minimum Space Athlete on Living.Fit.